What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on the channel. I know it's been a hot minute, but life gets in the way. I think life gets in the way is the best way to explain it. We all get real lives, people. The internet isn't real. But for all six of you that love watching and coming back to our video, welcome back. And
Wow.
today we are going to dive into Fantastic Four, the first steps, which is obviously the Marvel's first family's first foray, if you will, say that 10 times fast, into the MCU. And yeah, I mean, right out the gate, I think all of us were pleasantly surprised by this. There was a lot of negative hype leading up. There was a lot of hype leading up to it, obviously. The cast seemed pretty decent, although questionable, with the casting of Silver Surfer. People were a little salty, myself included, but I would give it a chance.
We'll
But I'm
get
still
there.
salty because Norin Rad was not in the film. But to be fair, we did get him before. We just got a fucked up cloud version of Galactus. And Pedro Pascal was a little head scratcher. Like, I wasn't totally against it, but I didn't think, hey, this is screaming Reed Richards right here. But you'll have to watch to see what our opinion of it is because I don't want to spoil too much, but I think I was with a lot of the people being pleasantly surprised at how Reed Richards he could be. But yeah, I mean, this film, it's the fourth time that they've been on the big screen. Um,
Irony.
really. But it would have been five had Richard Corman or Roger Corman, sorry, been able to actually release the film. Which the whole thing is like he was never going to release it. They filmed it just as a tax write off to retain the rights. They were never going to release that hot garbage film. Which there's some people in this world that actually are fans of that movie and say that that was a great rendition. And I'm like, what the hell are you watching this? What the hell is possessing you to believe that that first
Well,
attempt,
let's keep in
like,
mind back in the 90s, there wasn't much good for superhero stuff. And that didn't happen until after Spider-Man came out. Well, actually, I take that back. Blade was the
X-Men.
first one.
yeah, we
Oh
well,
yeah,
that's the
Blade,
thing.
Blade, Blade.
So the thing about Blade is that it's never lumped into superhero films because it was like a not a Die Hard, but it was a straight up vampire action flick, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So whenever we're talking about that stuff, it's easy to kind of not get that in there. I would say not until X-Men was it really taken a lot more seriously, and of
Yeah.
course this is predating Avengers and all this other stuff. And then after that, of course, Fantastic Four had its Fox versions that came out because Tim Story directed the first two films that fell apart. They tried to do Fan Four Stick, which everyone calls it that. I don't know a single person who calls that Fantastic Four.
But
But
the A
that
is a four. That's how you say it.
so like the first film, I didn't have a problem with. I thought that the cast was good. I thought thing looking practical was pretty decent. But like you said, kind of before, Steve, Doom was kind of the focal point of like your problem with the film, right? I mean, he was definitely that guy. He was definitely, evil. But they went about it where they adapted his powers to be more like a mutation and stuff, just like
Right.
the other guys. I mean, makes sense. You got to adapt certain ways, and I mean, they still did that shit in the other one too. Which it's funny because there was all these rumors about him not being Latverian or like a royal and all this other stuff, and he was just a hacker or a hacktivist and all this other bullshit. So the guy who played him kind of got a raw deal. They basically the whole movie I feel was like recut to shit. Plus they reshot a lot of stuff which I didn't really notice. I just noticed that it was a shitty movie for the most part, even though I own the steelbook. I have it to prove
It's not that
disproof.
bad.
It's not terrible, but like there was definitely some cool things in there. Like they have the negative zone, even though it's not called the negative zone. But this is in that period where there's a big circle in the sky where lightning and stuff happens, and you got to beat like this villain that has like powers and stuff, and it's a group that has to do this. It was this like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Bay Turtles Part One, and then there was like Amazing
Oh,
Spider-Man Part
you're talking about the other
One.
Fantastic Four. Okay. I thought you meant the first two.
No, I moved on to the other one, and then even Suicide Squad had that same thing, like a big fucking thing in the sky, a big circle in the sky. Something's happening, and you got to freaking take that thing out and freaking save the world or whatever. So there was not much of a high bar to live up to with this film. And then you hear that they're taking it to a new universe. It's not connected to the MCU proper technically, but then somehow they're going to tie it into them showing up in Doomsday and stuff because they have to. It's the Fantastic Four and it's Doctor Doom being the main villain, obviously. Um, but yeah, I thought that this movie was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. The casting for the most part, I looked at the cast and was like, oh, this is a great cast. Again, Pedro Pascal is a great actor, but does he strike me as a Reed? He didn't. But in the context of the film and the way his performance was, I thought that was great.
Hmm.
Um, we don't have a doctor. We didn't have a Doctor Doom technically until spoilers the very end with the post credits, the mid credits rather. We've got a great Galactus, in my opinion, and Silver
Excellent.
Surf, her,
Hmm.
as I always refer to because it just rolls off the tongue. She was actually really good. The way that they depicted her in the role for Shala Bal. Again, I'm not familiar with this version of or this universe version of the Silver Surfer. From my impression, she doesn't have a presence in the comics that much. She was in a couple issues or maybe one appearance and possibly never spoke. I don't know. But for the context of this movie and the story, I thought it worked really well. And it kind of connected to Johnny in a certain way. And I got to say, a few different things in this movie very much surprised me, none the least of which was where Johnny actually deciphered an alien language from one phrase. And I thought that that was pretty interesting. And everyone's like, "Oh, Johnny's not like that. He's not that smart." And I'm like, "Well, no, they're all astronauts. They have to be smart to a degree. Plus, if
Exactly.
Reed Richards is your brother-in-law, you're gonna pick up a couple things from him, and then you're gonna be able to incorporate that in your life. To be honest, like I thought that was pretty realistic. But what's your guys' take on it? What did you think of the casting?
I had no problems at all with Pedro Pascal being Reed Richards. I thought that was like probably out of all of them, I thought he was probably like the best cast to do it.
Oh, okay.
Um, then obviously I forgot the actress's name who played Sue Storm. Only thing I really know her from is from like the Mission Impossible movies.
Yep.
But I thought she fit, she looked like Sue Storm, so that worked. And then obviously kid playing Johnny, we've seen him in what's it called?
He was in Stranger
Stranger Things.
Things.
He was
Uh,
Stranger Things. I know he was in the Quiet, like I think they did like the Quiet like
Prequel.
spinoff prequel or whatever it
Yep.
was. He was in that. He was actually really good in it.
Yep.
And at first I was like, oh, well, he's from Stranger Things, so like I don't know if it's just because Stranger Things is popular. Is he really a good actor? But then when I saw
Mhm.
that he did the spinoff or the prequel for the Quiet movie, I thought I was like, oh, he's actually really good. So
Yeah.
and I thought I was like, yeah, I could see him being Johnny.
He was
Obviously not.
actually in Gladiator 2 as well.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't like that movie at all.
I
I didn't
didn't
like
What
it.
watch
I
it.
character
didn't
was he
like
in
it at
that?
all.
He was one of the rulers,
Yeah.
the
Princes or
pasty
kings, I don't know what it was.
redheaded
That's
rulers.
right. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yep.
wanted to actually like to die in that movie, so that's a spoiler for you
Yeah.
guys. He does.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I figured he was gonna die. I mean,
yeah.
conflict and
It was,
stuff.
yeah. But I thought, obviously he's not like because like obviously watching the first Fantastic Four, we see Chris Evans be play Johnny Storm, and like you're thinking you're gonna get that type of Johnny Storm, which you kind of do a little bit. But like obviously, like you said, like he's actually pretty smart. Like he's not like a stupid like
Jock.
he's
Musclehead.
not yeah, he's not like a jockhead or like he's not like dude's gonna take risks type of thing, how like Evans played him or
Yep.
how he was told to play Johnny.
Yep.
Um so I was fine with it. The only person I was kind of like a little bit skeptical on was Eben Ross Bacharach. I know I watched him obviously in The Bear. I've
Mm.
even too he was in Punisher, so people forget about that.
He's micro. Yep.
Yeah, he's the first season Punisher.
Microchip.
And I was like, well, how's he gonna play, the Thing? Obviously, they don't really call him Thing, but play Ben.
Mhm.
Um, and I actually like what they did with Ben. And even
Yes.
though I haven't given like a gruff voice and this is what we do in like the cartoon movies, I actually like
Yep.
kind of felt the connection of like you still feel the humanity within Ben. And obviously, I wish they touched on it a little bit more, which we can probably go down if we want to talk about a little bit of gripes, down that path of like just exploring how Ben feels being the Thing. They didn't really touch on
Yeah.
that too much, only like a
Yep.
little bit. But overall, like for me, I thought the movie was fun. I thought it was great. I thought, the action was cool. And I like the fact of like having the 1960s theme of it. Obviously, it's a different Earth, it's a different
Yep.
world. It's not connected to the MCU. It felt refreshing because like you don't have like all these ties to the MCU. You don't have all these superheroes in the way, and I felt like it was like its own world. It kind of brought us back to this is a standalone Marvel film, you know what I mean? And I thought they actually really did a good job. And obviously the music was great. I like the setting. Obviously, I talked about that. I thought the CGI was great. I thought the Thing looked really good. Like he looked like the Thing, and it worked in the world. Um, and obviously too, like I had no problems when they announced that, Shallow Ball was going to be the Silver Surfer in this world. Because obviously it's a different Earth. So I mean, it makes sense to not have like the original Silver Surfer that we all know in this, and maybe they might bring it back because now that Galactus is elsewhere, who knows? Maybe they might bring in that fact. But I think the reason, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but like how Shella Ball kind of sacrificed herself. Well, actually, she sacrificed her world, didn't she, or a kid? I can't
She
remember how it
she
was that.
she saved her world. She
She
gave
saved her.
herself up to be the heralds that
Right,
her way her world
Right.
lived, and
right,
that's kind of what.
and I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, and I don't know if that ties to like with Sue and giving up Franklin, if that kind of like if there was any ties between that, if they kind of wanted to maybe kind of show like the yin and the yang of someone not
the
giving up or
parallels.
parallels, I guess, in that sense. Now obviously Galactus was cool. I thought honestly, I wish they did more of the space stuff, to be honest. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like being in space
it was
and
really good.
obviously like when they first get to see like Galactus, I was like, oh, that was awesome. And overall, I thought the film was great. I thought the family dynamic of like obviously Reed and Johnny, which I don't know if we saw that a lot. I didn't watch the one with Michael B. Jordan, so to be
Neither.
honest, I saw bits and pieces of it, but I
It
never
was
like
very
watched it
dark.
throughout.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had no interest watching it, but I
yeah.
think like I think like the relationship with of all like obviously Sue and Johnny talking with Reed about getting the new suits and then on top of that too, obviously Ben and Reed's relationship in the movie was great, and obviously Reed and Sue obviously being husband and wife, like they're actually having like real conversations and real arguments about things, and like I'll leave it at this. I think obviously I like the movie. I like the fact that how Pedro Pascal how he played Reed.
Yeah.
I know some people will probably say like this is not really a comic book actor. He's like the smartest guy, obviously in the comic books and probably most likely in Marvel and the MCU. Like he didn't play, um, he's not Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. He's not Iron Man in a sense. He's not like cocky,
Right.
but he's always looking for like a solution. And he might not be able to find it, or he's gonna try to do what his best is the best he can to find a solution to save everybody. But like he played just like I don't know, it was just different from obviously like
Yeah.
Tony Stark. He's just like in a different sense. I can see him maybe I don't know if he's going to be a good leader in that sense. I don't know if he's going to be like the guy to basically lead the Avengers, but I think he could be a pivotal person to basically help the Avengers wherever when it comes to the whole like merging of worlds. If he's going to be like a big
Yeah.
factor in that, and I don't know if he's going to be the leader or not, but I think he's going to be a
Yeah.
prominent player in the movie. But
Well, that's
overall,
definitely up in the air now because from
yeah,
reports, again, rumors, they're actually cutting down his role or the Fantastic Four's role in the film. They're still going to have them for Doomsday and stuff, obviously, because they're key players. But
mm-hmm.
reducing their role has come on. But Yeah, so it's definitely going to be weird to see if he can step up. But you're right, Reed is, and when we were in the theater, because me and Steve actually ended up going and checking it out, we were able to. The
Yeah,
plan, people, was to get all of us to get into the theater and get like that experience. But unfortunately, again, life gets in the way, man. But
life
when we were
finds a
watching
way.
stuff, like freaking when Reed's talking about, I have to think about the terrible things to kill them before they kill us or whatever the phrase was, and that's kind of the God's honest truth. That's kind of how it was even in the Cold War days, the space race. I have to figure out a way to get there first before like the Russians or whatever it is. Like again, not trying to make this political, but like that's kind of the mentality of brilliant men who are trying to be pioneers. They have to find out how to do that, or if they're trying to be the protectors or protect their family or whatever, they have to think about the terrible things that need to be done to do that before they can get to the other options and everything. And we kind of see that play out in this. As far as Ben's presence, they've supposedly been heroes for about 4 years. We're seeing them after they've already conquered the Mole Man. They had this nice little montage where they've
Yeah,
made
Moment was
peace with
great.
Subterranea. Yeah, Mole Man was pretty cool, and Paul Walter Hauser, I forget what the guy's name is. I think that's his name, but he was also in Naked Gun, which I saw recently, and he was pretty funny in there too. He's random. The first time I saw him too was in the Cobra Kai show too, which is so random. Um, but to take it to what you're talking about with Ben, I think he's probably gone through those growing pains behind the scenes, and because they've been heroes for like 4 years and stuff, right? They even get the Future Foundation. That was a deep cut because once the Fantastic Four is done, Future Foundation or the other Fantastic Fours with like Spider Man and like She Hulk and like different people that can come in and stuff like that. Also, being that it's Universe 828 or Earth 828, it was kind of a cool little throwback and tribute to Jack Kirby, who co created them, which I thought was great. Plus, this thing, especially when they go to Galactus's ship, looked totally like a Jack Kirby technological, like whole big highways of like tech and gear and all this other stuff just leaping off the panels. More so than what the Eternals was, which the Eternals was a total Jack Kirby baby, which I don't understand why that didn't have more Jack Kirbyisms in there too, but I digress. But to see Ben just kind of play around or that kids aren't afraid of him was refreshing, again, because they all like them. They've got the Saturday morning cartoons. Oh, pick it up, like having him pick up the car and everything, which was
Yeah.
funny. I didn't see a what's her face showing up in this movie. That was a total left field pick. The chick from I always remember her from American Pie, but she's on Poker Face now.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, black too.
yeah, and for her to kind of be like a little bit of a love interest with Ben, I'm like, okay, okay, this isn't Alicia here, you know, that he ends up marrying. I think that was Puppet Master's daughter. I think in the comics, she's blind and everything. But I thought that was pretty cool. And the CG for him was on point. Again, I was surprised too that he didn't have a gruff voice, but also I was surprised that they didn't pick like a muscle bound guy to play Ben as well. But the actor who played him actually did a very good job at emoting and everything. And I don't think he needed that gravelly voice, especially when him and
No.
Johnny are like going at it, not going at it, but basically they have a great dynamic too. And they kind of did a little callback with the figure inside of the movie too, saying flame on, and then he crunches it or whatever. It
Right.
reminds
Yeah.
me of when Johnny played around with the
Thing.
prototype thing in
Yeah.
the first one and he smashes it. Come on, man, it was the prototype.
Yeah. That
And
was
then
funny.
trying to egg him on and say it, Ben. I don't wanna. It's clobbering time. Like I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. That was great.
Although I have to be honest, I feel like that all the members should have done a little bit more. I feel like Thing should have had a little bit extra with his fights, but they were probably pressed for time. Reed did some pretty cool stuff with his stretchy powers, but I think Johnny and Sue get the real good rub as far as being able to showcase their powers a little bit more.
I think Reed's more of his superpowers is more of his brain, to be honest. I mean,
True.
even though it's a stretch, I get it, and like he's
Uh,
Mr. Fantastic. I think his brain is kind of like more of a superpower than anything.
Of course it is. But like when you see in the cartoons and the comics, he's spreading out to become like a big wall between two people. Or even in the first ones, he became like this water spout kind of thing, or this like freaking. He reaches up his hand under the door and grabs something. I mean, that's kind of a cheap little thing, but like even like him doing like random things that he did in the first like two movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the first one, so they could probably you know see what skills he's got in like Doomsday and stuff like that, But
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Russos will probably find something.
probably they're probably going to make him a big spring and then have him launch like Wolverine or whatever, do a fastball special or something with something like that. I don't know. Steve, what are you thinking?
I was just waiting.
I saw you waiting patiently. So what did you think about the
No, it
cast and
was
stuff?
great, man. This whole movie was super fun. The marketing team for this movie should be fired because
Yes.
there was no excitement to like the week of launch release of this movie. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Pedro was great. Just I don't I don't want to sound like insensitive, but he almost played him like kind of autistically, like kind of that level where he's on
The
he's
spectrum.
there's a higher thinker because he's like that locked into what he's thinking about, and like you guys mentioned earlier, he has to think of everything, even the terrible things, to find a solution. And you guys, as Ricardo mentioned, Sue and Reed's relationship in the movie. My favorite scene in the entire movie, which really nailed this home for me, was Sue and Reed arguing that he he doesn't say it to her, but she figures out that he thought about giving Franklin to Galactus. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's like a real situation. And like the fact that he says, like, I have to think of everything. And I'm like, that's true. Like, that's how he is.
Yeah.
And just the way he plays the role of the entire movie, like even during the press conference when they come back from space and they obviously couldn't stop Galactus and everyone made fun of him online. Oh, he's an idiot for telling him that. It's like, well,
He's
sometimes the smartest
honest.
people. No, I took it as like Reed's not really socially aware. He
Yeah.
doesn't read the room well. So like I think that's how I read the scene. I can understand why people felt like that was a dumb thing to say because it kind of was, but I don't know. I just that's Reed in this movie. Like he's just matter of fact about everything. So
Yeah.
but yeah, you guys mentioned the thing. Johnny and Thing weren't like antagonists like the other two Fantastic Fours from the early 2000s, but they were just like a friendly banter, like two bros, like busting each other's balls. That was great, awesome. Like, and the figure thing was great, and yeah, everything was, and the effects were much better than the previous Marvel films. So,
Yeah.
especially they had to, because I mean, even though Galactus was a practical actor, they did a great job of making him look really, really good. I guess we missed out in not seeing it in IMAX. So the Galactus scenes were just way more impactful in IMAX.
I know, I know. That's the thing too. Is I want to see it again, and I'm hoping to see it in IMAX. I mean, and especially, well, if you with the news lately, they're talking about Fantastic flop because it had like a 60 to 80% drop from last Friday to this Friday. But
People don't know what the hell they want. Like
I,
it's just like I don't know, man. Maybe
this is
it's
the thing
superhero
too.
fatigue. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. They're talking about like obviously they said the thing is super fantastic because Superman and Fantastic Four came out. They're trying to like not be adversarial, but I'm gonna be honest. This movie had a lot more fun and got me going, and
Oh,
had a lot more
it was way better than
great
Superman.
moments than
Yeah.
Superman. This
Yeah.
I
isn't
think,
trying to be combative. I mean, Superman was just
No,
mid again.
yeah.
it really was.
I think the reason why it probably dropped off a lot too is like Steve said at the beginning was like they need to fire their marketing team because I think we even said it like or yeah, we even said it like when the first trailer came out. I was like, yeah, it doesn't really do anything for me. I was
Yeah,
like, that's okay.
like they didn't
Like,
want to show everything, but
no,
in not doing that, they spent it on the last trailer. They showed a lot more action and stuff, whether
right.
it was dubbing, developmental effects not being done, or whatever it was. If that was the first trailer, I would have been like out of my seat, like, yeah, I want to see that
Yeah.
right now. You know?
Which is
Yeah.
hilarious because in other Marvel movies they give away the farm in every trailer. It's
Exactly,
like, dude,
exactly.
come on, man. But no, it
Yeah.
was
For real.
great, man. I
Leave a little
was
bit of suspense, bro.
right.
But I
But no,
also think the
I'm
reason why probably if the if like obviously like the revenue they're making is gonna drop, I think it's because and again, I think this is a better movie than Superman, but I think the reason why Superman is still like ongoing is because it was geared towards kids. Like again, we talked about it last video where we talked about how Superman was like on commercials. You see it on TV, you see it on the billboard, you see it like all these toys, you see it like everywhere. So obviously kids are gonna push their parents to go see Superman compared
Well,
to
that's the thing is that this movie is more kid friendly than Superman, especially when someone gets their head blown off. And I'm sorry, but some of the horn dog action that Lois and Superman are doing, although there is one scene in this which is pretty funny, it also revolves around the black hole, which Sue is trying to give birth at the
yeah,
same time while they're
right.
trying to get back in Slingshot. Which, dude, this was like such a sci-fi movie though. Like this was more sci-fi than I thought. It almost had like a
yeah.
Star Trekky vibe to it, which isn't a dig. That's pretty cool. But tell me it wasn't like messed up where she's like, Johnny Killer, she's trying to get your nephew. Like, holy shit. Like, ooh, okay, Sue. All right, Mama Bear kicking in, and then it kicks in at the end. Um, but yeah, I just again that plus when you're having marketing say Fantastic Four skins coming to Fortnite, or you're having a fucking sippy cup with a straw strategically placed around the torso of Pedro Pascal. What's the matter with you? Why would you do that? You know what I'm talking about, internet.
I
You know what I'm
do.
talking about.
I showed you all of the Reed straw cup.
That
It's
reminds me,
like
I forgot to grab my cup.
it's as bad as the Spider-Man balloons back in the day where the inflatable parts like between Spider-Man's legs. I'm like, dude, you couldn't put plan it any worse, dude. Like seriously.
I did love the fact that they had Herbie in here, and Herbie was fucking awesome. Because for the deep cuts and the fans back in the day in the cartoon, they couldn't put the Human Torch onto the cartoon because of reasons, because of fire safety and all that stuff. So they replaced him with
Mm.
Herbie, the robot. So it was cool that they included everybody plus Herbie, plus the way that they did Herbie. His face looked just like kind of like how it looked in the comics, but updated. And his face was like a cassette thing, which I thought was really awesome, like a reel to reel player.
Yep.
But
Did you hear
Herbie,
though that he was
Herbie's
actually
go.
like he was actually like it was actually like a real like actual
Oh, practical, like
practical animatronics. Yeah,
get out of here. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was real. It was
I
real.
love it. That's awesome. See, that's
Yeah.
the thing too. Is like in a world where we have R2D2, then we've graduated to like BB8 and stuff like that. Practically, I love seeing that because that's just like it's another deep cut. It's another like throwback, callback, whatever homage you want to call it. And that's the reason. That's another reason why this movie was cool because again they had so many throwbacks. They had like the '60s cartoon. They had the '60s aesthetic. They had the costumes, which looked I actually thought the costumes looked like they were ripped straight out of the same universe as the first Star Wars movie. Like I thought that they had their belts and their gloves and stuff looked kind of like reminded me of like stormtrooper esque stuff, and it wasn't the plain old like simple design. Like they had like ribbing and like lines in their costumes, and the floor was stylized pretty cool. The
There's a
Baxter
little
building
there's like a little technical pieces in somewhere in the suit.
and each of their costumes has a slightly different like color
Yep.
scheme too and everything too. And even the Baxter building, like it wasn't a four-sided like regular high rise or skyscraper. It was like a kind of like an interesting original building, and it just had like a four in it. It almost looked like it could be like the Eye of Sauron, maybe the way it was set up. I don't know.
Mm,
Maybe that's just
kind of.
me.
Yeah.
But what yeah, the way that the art design and everything was done on this was fantastic to say the least. Not no pun intended.
Pun intended.
I already know you're gonna go there, Steve.
Wasn't even thinking about it.
I mean, the only thing I can think of on top of my head is just like not like nothing bad about the movie, just like some things like I thought, like again, like I thought they could have done a little bit more than it was short. And my thing is too, like it was a short movie. It was like an hour. I think it
Hmm.
was like an hour, like what 50 or
Something
40.
like that. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
thought maybe they could have gotten a little bit longer, but I think they didn't want to do that because maybe they were afraid if they went too long, people wouldn't like it, or they probably wouldn't want to sit still for it. But I mean, I thought the timing was kind of good. It moved really fast. Um, I think just again, my minor gripe was more the fact of like they could have given Ben just a little bit more story about obviously how he became the thing and how he feels about being the thing. I know it's years after they became the Fantastic Four, but like he seems like more like a happy-go-lucky guy. The only thing he's struggling with is talking to a female. Other than that, like he's good.
right.
Like I'm good. I'm happy. Like he's good being the thing. Like I'm
Aren't
good.
we all?
So I thought they could have maybe done a little explored a little bit more on that. They just did it when like they when Ben was like out and about, kind of like
Yeah.
Raphael in New York with the old trench coat and the hat.
Yeah. Honestly.
And he saw himself in the mirror in the window of
Mm.
his old self, and then glares back to himself. And I think it said a lot, but like they didn't really like go deep into it. It
Mm.
kind of like was surface level kind of thing.
Well, that happened after the Fantastic Four was on the outs, though, because before when they're cool and they're doing that, then he's lifting the car. He's got a baseball cap on. He's got a sweater on and shit. He's getting like meat pies, or I don't know what he's getting something from his favorite bakery or whatever it is.
Right.
He's like one of the neighborhood, and I'm just like, okay, what do we got over here? We got like Mr. Rogers, Ben Grimm over here. What's going on with this? You know, but
Um, and then I'd say just again, I thought, I think them being in space was actually like a lot cooler than them being on Earth. I thought that was like kind of like you
yeah,
said, it was like more sci-fi, like Star Trekky,
yep,
um, you know, and then just seeing like Galactus and that whole setting was like a lot cooler than like Galactus being on Earth.
yeah,
Uh, I didn't
yep.
really feel like there was like any high stakes in the movie. Obviously, Earth was going to be consumed by Galactus. It is high stakes in a sense, but like
Well,
I had a feeling that like obviously they're going to come save the day.
Right.
the heat wasn't on essentially. Like the stakes were there. It's
Right.
just where was the build up so that when the saving happened, it felt like it was a payoff.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Well, and I don't know if this is the case, but because it's probably because I feel like it was because their plan seemed like it was going to go good. oh, I
Right.
finally cracked the code. It's the egg moving from here to there. So we're going to move ourselves from there to there. And then basically everybody and their mother had the cooperation to like do that stuff, and everything worked well. And okay, cool. We're a brotherhood. We're all working together. The whole world, except for Latveria, conveniently, is working together and building all these random things. And then we're turning off the electricity. So at a certain point, I'm like, am I watching Fantastic Four? Or am I watching fucking Captain Planet? Like we're trying to conserve energy, we're trying to do all this shit, you know.
Right.
So it was kind of like a little like tongue in cheek moment for him, like, is this where we should be going? But and it was another montage, if you will, too. But
Right.
when it came down and then Shia LaBeouf comes in and just fucks shit all up, then that's when it's like, oh shit, like now we realize like this is gonna happen. But again, Reed pivots and he's like, okay, well, we can't do this, but now I have another plan. So it's probably because he had a lot of plans and he really wasn't tearing his hair out that we felt that the stakes weren't as high, even though they were pretty high to me.
Right. Yeah. And then the only thing I could think of was just obviously we saw that. Well, you still haven't seen what's it called, the
So
new, well, new,
I
not
haven't
new
seen
Avengers.
Thunderbolts.
You haven't seen
Yeah.
Thunderbolt?
But I know
So
that the scene is like the ship coming into like the atmosphere or whatever, right?
right. So and that's my thing is like how does it tie into
I assumed that they're
Avengers
looking for
Infinity?
Doom.
Yeah.
I think yeah, probably because at the mid credits, Doom is talking with what is it like 4 or 5 years later?
Franklin.
So he's
Yeah.
taking Franklin probably,
Mm.
and then he's gone to a different universe and whatnot. So that's the theory that I think is being kind of like implied here. And if it is, then absolutely I can roll with it because Franklin is like something ethereal, not ethereal. I don't know if that's right, but like he's something
I think it is.
godlike. But basically, yeah, Franklin is cosmic. Like, and even in the film, I was shocked. I'm like, I found someone that can take my curse away from me, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I didn't realize. And I don't. I think that they did illustrate that the baby has some powers that are latent, kind of like Jack and the Incredibles, for
Right.
lack of a better term. But I feel like in the one moment where it mattered the most, they didn't really put enough like pepper on it, like because he's crying because Sue's basically dead, right? So he's like laying on her and touching her, and then you can kind of make out like some waves coming through his hands. But like what you should have seen is like his eyes like burning white and then like something zapping her back to life, in my opinion. Like, I mean, not that the audience is an idiot. Like, I don't think that the audience is
They are.
dumb, but like you come to see the spectacle and get embellished and stuff. Are you not entertained? Is this not what you are here for? Like so the baby should have been like,
I will give
like,
them credit though. They let it hang for a long time. Even
yes.
I was like, "Oh, is this really going to happen?"
That's
I had
true.
a
I
little doubt, but
Yeah.
obviously it was she was going to be
like
gone. Fine.
well, that's the thing is like if they had killed her here, maybe they would have found her in the other universe and then they would have stayed, maybe. I don't know. Um and then I mean, I think everyone knows what I say when I say Malice, right? Which is the evil version of Sue, where
Oh,
she's like bondage, like spikes, black latex. You can look at that one in your spare time too, Steve.
wow! I got to look at this.
Grapes.
Not
I
many.
never,
Not
not,
really a gripe, but I was
not many.
very happy to see that the internet's going to internet. It's a woman at the end, and Reed and Johnny don't, and Ben don't do crap at the end of the movie, which is not the case. Like, which I was
Well,
happy to
so
see.
they do crap, but they should have done some cooler shit. But I
No,
don't think
I
that
was
Sue.
happy with it. I
I
mean, it's
Yeah.
Galactus. I mean, what's Ben gonna do? I mean, like,
I mean, if he was a smaller scale, Ben could have grabbed him by the ankles and like
right?
thrown him
That's
maybe.
different, right?
But Reed literally unplugged the dude's like things in the
That
back of
was
his
dope.
back, like
Yeah.
pouring out like hot acid or whatever the hell he's is flowing through his veins. I
Again,
thought that was pretty
smart
cool.
thinking. Yeah, exactly.
And as far as Sue, like Sue is going into full fight or flight mode, and she's a
A little
superpowered
OP,
being.
but it
A
is what
little
it
bit,
is.
but that's
Yeah.
Mama Bear. The thing is that it's OP'd. It's not OP'd. It's like she's tapping into that reserve and then going beyond the empty tank. So they should have done what they did in the first movie, which is give her a nosebleed or whatever. Like they should have
Yeah.
shown something where she was bleeding from her nose or whatever it is.
I
And
mean,
then
she died.
I think that. Well, I know she died, but I'm saying
I
they
know.
should have
Like,
again. They should have illustrated it more, man. They should have like laid it on because that's where people start saying, "Oh, it's a Mary Sue. Oh, if she didn't have that power." And it's like again, we get it because she died. But the thing is like still people won't recognize that because she didn't like strain herself enough. They didn't get enough illustration of the strain that it put on her, and I'm like, you don't really need to
like
go
blood
that
coming
far.
from her eyes, nose,
It,
ears, type of thing.
that's what I'm saying. Like if that
Gotcha,
shit
gotcha.
happened, they would have been
Her
like, "Holy
saying, "I'm
shit!"
bleeding out my nose." Audience, look at me. I'm in pain.
I'm just a woman. I can't
Apparently,
do all this stuff.
exposition is not enough. You know, with Reed saying, "Oh, stop, honey. It's too much."
No, it wasn't enough.
What
Pedro
what did
should
he
have been
call her?
like,
What did Pedro call her? I forget.
oh, I don't know.
They
I
had a
don't
pet. He had a pet name for it, and he kept saying it in the movie.
listen.
Darling,
Not
was it?
not to take a side. Well, they do call each other darling, so that makes sense for Reed and Sue. But
Yeah.
not to get off track here, but I'm
Hmm.
not
I know
sure
where you're
about
going.
Pedro Pascal's anxiety and how people soothe that anxiety in the public eye. I mean, I've got anxiety too, but yeah, I won't go
I
into
mean,
it
it's
anymore.
whatever, man. Like, if as long as it's two consenting adults, who gives a shit? Honestly, like,
I think they're trying to sell the movie, if anything. I don't think I don't think much of it, but obviously
no,
people like we're looking into it because they do have really good chemistry together.
yeah,
In the
super
movie,
good.
I think they're I think all of them had good chemistry with each other. So I think
Yep.
obviously maybe they're playing it off. It could be just a Hollywood type of thing to say, hey, you know,
It could be work. It could be work.
because we're talking about it. Like, think of it, we're talking about it right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, like, it could be a Hollywood thing. Who knows?
It's just like the rumors about, oh, Ben and Reed might have been ex-lovers and stuff. I'm like, that's clearly a rumor that they're trying to bait on stuff. Because I heard that rumor that they were trying to say that Ben and Reed were like, lovers at one point before the movie is what there was some allusion to. And I'm like, I don't see them doing that. And then
How?
I didn't
sure
get
enough,
that at
like
all.
where? Yeah. I mean, listen, in today's modern
It's
age,
the
I'm sure they
'60s,
could
brother.
find a way.
That stuff wasn't happening.
It's the 60s in an alternate universe. Everyone's liberated
I'm just
and helping
kidding.
each other
Yeah.
and stuff. But no, in today's day and age, if anyone wants to make a story beat stick, they can absolutely do that if they wanted to. It's out of anybody's control. But I don't see
Right.
them doing that. That would be 1000% box office suicide. I'm just saying, if they went that far with it, box office suicide.
Yeah,
I'm just
I think they
saying.
just kind of kept it as like
They did the nuclear
like
family. I feel like
yeah,
this movie was
basically yeah.
more. This
They
movie
kept
was
it as
more.
conservative. They kept it as conservative as it could be.
Yeah.
Which
Obviously, some people are
which
gonna be
is
pissed about
yeah
Shia LaBeouf, but like
yeah.
I thought Shia LaBeouf worked. I like Silver Surfer, and like I just like the
She
moves.
served the
I
story.
Right.
the power was really on point. The speed, like, I really like how they portrayed Silver Surfer in this
Very
movie.
very important. Board is not connected to the body.
That's right.
And that added to Johnny being his true self from the comics too. Johnny is kind of like attracted to this lady. He's like, and then like, down to him saying, "Don't tell me how to shoot sexy space aliens," And
Is
then
she
even
naked?
that,
Is she naked? It's a suit, Johnny.
I don't. I think there was a lot more to like than gripe about. And again, the gripes, like you're saying, Ricardo, aren't exactly gripes. They're like
No.
nitpicks at best. It
Yeah,
didn't take me
exactly.
out of the movie. The environment, the atmosphere, the way that they handled themselves, the way the story played out, and everything was interesting and it was great. Again, this is why I'm just shocked that this is like not really doing that well at the box office.
It's a shame. It's a really good. It's just this is what a summer movie should be. It's just
Yeah,
fun. You leave. I'm still thinking about this movie to this day.
yep.
I really want to see it again. Honestly, like I just
I
haven't
think,
had time.
yep,
But yeah, I honestly will probably see it again before it leaves theaters because I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, you
yeah.
gotta see it in IMAX.
Did you see it in
Man.
IMAX, Ricardo?
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Oh my god, that's what I wanted too. Like that theater that we were talking about going to has the IMAX screens over there too, right? Is
Yeah,
that where
showcase. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that where you saw it? Don't tell me that's
Yeah.
where you
That's I
saw
mean
it.
that's the only
Oh,
place I'm
you
gonna
son
go.
of a bitch! Oh, you bastard!
Was it in 4D over there? They still have that there
Yeah, they have
at the
4D.
place?
Yeah, 4D over there
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah, 4D.
I saw was it Infinity War in 4D there? It was dope.
I saw it in IMAX. I didn't see. I don't think I've ever seen a movie in 4D.
Oh man, yeah,
But I
it's
think
the chairs
IMAX is
like are
crazy.
the
Yeah.
They
chairs are all
rumble.
reactive and
Oh
have
wow,
haptic or rumble. In snow, there's snow that falls in the theater. If it's a
That's it.
when Ant-Man actually it was Endgame I saw there, not Infinity War. When Ant-Man dives into the water at the end of Endgame,
Yeah.
they spritz water at you. Yeah, it was dope, man. When
Oh,
there's like like was there a chase in the movie? There must have been, but you could smell the burning rubber in the theater. It was crazy. Like it was really, really good.
yeah.
dude,
Really
No,
cool.
I've
it's like a
never done
Bug's
it though,
Life.
but IMAX, lately that's kind of been like the way I go, especially too. Like I saw the movie. I told you guys I saw F1 in IMAX, and that movie was awesome. Like that was a great
Nice.
movie. That was a great film. It was just a good summer movie. Like late, honestly, like this summer has been pretty good lately with movies.
Mhm.
Overall, obviously, how we feel about Superman, but I
Yeah,
think it's like it's been a good year or a good summer, I should say, for films.
yeah,
In my
yeah.
opinion. Like Thunderbolts was great. F1 was great.
I thought it was great. Yeah. Maybe it was
Fantastic
too
Four
many
was great.
movies in July. Do you think, guys? I don't know.
Oh yeah, even
Um,
well,
There's Jurassic Park, then Superman, and then
right,
Fantastic Four.
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah.
yeah,
And F1 was sprinkled in there. And then, I mean, some people are going to obviously want to put this out there, and I would agree with them. The Naked Gun movie is fantastic. It was like the last day of July, technically. But is that a July movie? I think technically it is, if we're talking about it being
it's
open
only a
and
week
whatnot,
after, right?
you
It was a
know?
week after Fantastic Four
So,
came out.
yeah. But, I think so July was the month for movies, probably then, because I would say that those were probably like the hotly anticipated movies for the entire
Yeah.
year, right? I mean, I didn't get to see Thunderbolts, although I did buy it on Blu-ray because I heard really good things. So,
yeah. It was a good, it was a good
It's
film.
streaming this month actually at some point on Disney Plus.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I waited for Cat 4 to see streaming, and I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was
No, it was
pretty
good.
decent.
It's
It
all
was
right.
better. My metric is Eternals is the worst Marvel movie.
Oh, for
So if
sure.
it's better than
No,
Eternals,
No,
no,
I don't
there's
think
what
Eternals was the worst. I don't
no,
think.
I for
it's either
I
Black
blanked.
Widow or
I've
Thor Love and Thunder are the worst movies. And maybe the
No,
original
no, no, no,
Thor.
no, no,
No,
No,
Black
no.
Thor
Widow
So
2.
was
no,
Black Widow wasn't that
the
bad
worst
though.
Marvel movie for me is Captain Marvel, and I don't recognize it as anything in the MCU because you're not going to sit there and tell me that that's how Nick Fury should have lost his eye, and you're not going to sit there and tell me that Captain Marvel is the reason why the Avengers call themselves the Avengers. Fuck that noise.
Trying
Sir,
to
that's a
think.
retcon.
I would say if it was me, like I feel like we're kind of gonna go off on a tangent, but I think like the worst movie for me was my expectations. I'd probably say it was like probably Thor: The Dark World. I didn't
Yeah,
really
it's pretty
care
bad.
for it.
So
That
that's
was
the
pretty bad.
thing. When it came out, it
Iron
was
Man,
terrible,
yeah,
but upon rewatch, it's pretty good.
yeah. It was okay. It was okay. I mean, I don't know.
That
Like
holds
I
up
was
better
pretty,
than Thor 4.
but I
I'm
think
just
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause I mean, I think the reason why I thought like my expectation was probably high was because like I was like, oh yeah, well the directors of Game of Thrones are gonna be directing it. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get like Game of Thrones type of thing, and I was like, it wasn't really that. It was
No, we
okay.
weren't going to get
It
that
wasn't
intense.
bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go off of like my expectations. Even too like
Yep.
a lot of people like Guardians 2, and I thought Guardians 2 was like felt like a Saturday cartoon. Same thing with Thor, Love
Were
and Thunder, which that
were you
was
going to
like
Oh,
talk? Were you
that's
going to
way
say Iron
worse.
Man 3 was bad
no, no,
too?
no, no.
I
Because
didn't like
I
it.
I didn't
actually have
care
a
for
good
Iron
story
Man
about Iron
3.
Man 3 though, because me and my friend Dion actually went to go see Iron Man 3 like late at night, like around like 11 o'clock at night. And
Yep.
like we both like fell asleep through it trying to stay
I
up
don't
and
blame
watch
you.
it.
Oh man.
And Iron Man 3 wasn't bad, but I was actually gonna say Iron Man 2. Like I have never really gone back to go watch Iron Man 2. I
I
didn't really
I
care for it that much compared to Iron
I
Man 1.
so I watched it again because and actually we got to get back on track with this. Me and Laura, my girlfriend, are trying to rewatch the MCU because she's never seen all of them all the way through. So we would when we got to that, I'm like, this is fun. I still remember this as being fun, and it was pretty fun. The thing that where it craps out on though is Anton Vanko just getting vanquished like that, you know. But
Yeah.
then again, Mickey Rourke is kind of he's a little shaky at best with his commitments. I guess I
I
don't know.
want
We'll
my
say,
boy.
dude, Sam Rockwell needs to come back. He needs to come back
Dude,
as Justin
he
Hammer. He
was the
was fucking
star of that
amazing.
He was
movie.
good.
Like,
Yeah. I think that was probably
yeah.
the best thing out of
I
that
call
movie
this
Yeah.
the ex-wife. It's my piece de resistance, my magnum opus, my Beethoven's fifth or whatever he says.
And then
He's like, come
Rhodey
on.
uses it and it craps out. Hammer Tech?
Yeah, I'm trying to fight off a hemorrhoid attack.
Man, I'm trying to think what else. What else did I did? Obviously, like the newer ones weren't great. I thought Captain America, New World was whatever. Like I didn't,
Mm.
but I don't know. Like Eternals wasn't like the worst movie though. For me, in my opinion, I mean, it wasn't like the best Marvel movie or the greatest Marvel. I thought it was
No,
okay, decent.
It was
I
it was
like I
terrible.
like the vibe. I like that the characters came
I thought
together,
Bond was
kind
cool.
of like the Avengers, and it was more psychological, or like it was a feel good movie, kind of a dark feel good movie. If that makes sense.
I think it was more about like. I think it was too artsy. I think that's probably what it was. It was more
I dug it.
artsy than like actual like you know comic booky in a sense.
You know
Like
what
it was
it
like
was is
kind of
that
sci-fi artsy kind of.
no one knew who the Eternals were unless you were like a diehard. So they took a lot of liberties with it. They really reworked it because, like I said, Jack Kirby, like before he went off to DC and did the New Gods, I want to say the Eternals was his baby and stuff, and he did some pretty interesting stuff from what I've heard and understand. So when they adapted it for the screen, they basically took it all over. They changed the main person into Salma Hayek, which I mean, I think everyone can agree that they need a little bit more Salma Hayek eye candy in their life. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's this is me. But then they murked her, and then they made the main good guy a bad guy, and then they made the bad guy
Yeah.
kind of a good guy, and that was Bill Skarsgård, and that was the guy from Game of Thrones, and then this chick is the deaf chick from that one show that you watched one time, maybe, and then
Oh yeah,
like who
Walking Dead. Yeah.
then this that that Asian guy that's been in a couple random movies, and then you got like the other guy from what's that show with Atlanta,
Atlanta. I know
right?
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
And then
Yeah.
he was in the Godzilla movies. Actually, I like him in the Godzilla movies, and he was a badass Megatron. I'm just saying he was pretty cool for Megatron, and
Yeah, he was really
Transformers
good
One.
Megatron. Also,
Um,
Bullet Train too. He's good in Bullet Train.
yep, yep. I love Bullet Train.
But yeah, I mean,
Lemon and
I thought
tangerine.
yeah, I thought what like they did with like Icarus, like I was kind of disappointed they made him into like a bad guy and a little bad guy in a sense.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, if they go back and revisit it and maybe retool things, I mean, I'd be interested in watching it because I was like, obviously like the Eternals aren't characters that like I'm too familiar with, and like obviously we know of most of the characters that they've done lately. Um, but I mean, if they want to go back and revisit it or just like you know do something different with it, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I think
they
I'm a big like fan of like the actor who played Icarus. I was hoping like they were gonna like make him in like into like the Superman that well Superman,
he was kind of like archetype, basically Superman
right?
archetype, right?
Yeah,
Well, they're not going to revisit it because the only time that they've revisited it is just for adamantium purposes to make for better things.
yeah. I mean,
No,
yeah,
and Jon Snow is not going to get his own movie, just like Blade's voice cameo, and that is not going to happen anytime soon either.
yeah. That's not
Oh, we
gonna.
didn't just want to put Blade in a leather outfit and have him killing vampires. What the fuck are you doing, Kevin? Come on.
We don't want Sonic the Hedgehog running fast. We don't want that in this movie.
Oh, he can't be blue. That's like not a specific not a needed character trait. Are you
I'll
fucking
never
kidding
understand
me?
why Hollywood has this like a
That
fetish for changing things. It's a known IP. It's known for this. There's fans of it. That's why they buy the IP. Oh, we're gonna make some artistic choices to make it better. Well, why'd you buy it then?
it's a vicious circle. Hollywood
Yeah,
buys the IP because of the built-in audience, alienates the audience, tries to crank out more shit that is not money making any money, and then someone else buys it. So it happens again and again and again.
You
So
know
Mhm.
what? I just thought of the worst Marvel movie. Ant-Man 3 was awful.
Quantumania,
Yeah, Quantumania was awful.
you think Quantumania is awful? Is that because we're not going to get any Kang stories now?
Not because of that. I just thought it was stupid. Like, I didn't like the fact that they changed like the daughter, and then what they did with
Yeah.
what's his face, the Bumblebee dude. They made him
Oh
into
God, that's right. They made him
yeah,
MODOK.
Modok.
Oh, why did I forget? Oh, why did you
Which
have
I
to
mean, that was
remind me of
like
that?
I get it, kinda, but like obviously that was stupid. But like, and then they kind of wasted Bill Murray. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back and watch that movie again.
Yeah,
But I love
it's
Paul Rudd.
fun. I like all three Ant-Man movies.
I'll rewatch it because of Kang. But you got to figure all the Ant Man movies are dumb. They're supposed to be
They're
that way.
fun. They're stupid fun movies.
The
That
only reason
you
why the
know.
third one is not good is because you didn't bring back Michael Pena to tell a story. Hey, so it was like this
Yeah,
when I was like this, and
Sure.
I
it's like
thought losing
this,
him was like that was a bad idea. I
right?
don't know. That movie was awful.
That movie was not it, man. We're living in a microscopic world, and then you've got people walking around like humans and quadrupeds and shit, like globs. what's his face? The guy that was the Russian guy, Des Malikin or whatever his name is, the guy from that Late Night with the Devil movie. He was in The Dark Knight. He was the guy that was getting questioned by
Oh
Two
yeah.
Face.
Oh
That
yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
was the Russian guy in the first two ones, and then he's like the little glob
Oh
ruler
right,
in
right,
this
right,
one.
right, right. Yeah,
Like,
he's been like in was he like this polka dot dude and
Yeah, he was polka
yep,
dot man. Yeah.
polka
yep,
dot
he was
man and
Polka
yeah,
Dot
he's
Man.
been in a lot of things lately.
What the fuck is that? If I don't spray any dots, I get sick and they eat me alive. I'm a superhero, mom.
Yeah, that was
And
great. That was actually a really good
that's a
movie.
great James Gunn movie.
Yeah, that's
That was
super.
the last great one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like when it comes
Mhm.
to Doom, at the end of the mid
Oh yeah.
credit scene, I mean, like obviously that's the connection to Doomsday. I just don't know where to like why do they come into this world? They're at the end of Thunderbolts, like what's going on? Obviously they call it the convergence, right? The convergence is happening, and maybe that's what brings them in there. Or um, obviously I know Doomsday has like a bunch of the X-Men characters. The X-Men is going to be there. I don't know. They said there's supposed to be like more cast members to be announced at some point, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Well,
Um,
I'm
obviously,
sure.
you're gonna have
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman at some point. I would
Yeah.
assume. I would assume you would have Hugh
I
Jackman come
I
in.
would hope and assume too, but I guess I don't know because the creator of Deadpool has been not been invited to parties and stuff. He's just dogging out Marvel now.
Dude, he's a
Um,
clown. Like,
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
that's
it.
stupid.
dude
Shut
can't
up.
even draw feet. He can't even fucking draw feet, and he's talking
Nice
about shit.
Captain America chest, Layfield. Like, what the hell is that shit?
You know, no, but in all seriousness, though, if you were getting treated a certain way with the first two films, and the same people were making the third film, but then you got iced out as the creator of the movie, I think that that's kind of uncalled for. So I totally understand, but I think that aside, at the end of the day, they do want to have all their big players there. They want it. You should have Deadpool. You should have Hugh Jackman there. You should have all them there. As far as the way that they do Doomsday, I mean, I'm going to assume that Robert Downey Jr. being Doom is in the 828 universe. He is Doom. This all happened. He ends up not showing, no showing to the Future Foundation, conference with all the United Nations. So he comes in and takes Franklin, probably uses him to, basically hop galaxies or do some type of thing. What did they call it? They said there was a convergence of universes. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called, the convergence, where they have like basically worlds are basically coming together in a
Uh
sense.
huh. And
And I don't know where if like Doctor Strange even fits in this because that was like his movie where like what's her face comes out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah, she says that. You've created a convergence.
Yeah, and then I don't know if I don't think he's even gonna be in Doomsday or Avengers. I'm not sure if that's gonna
I
happen.
think he was one of the chairs, wasn't he?
I
Mm,
can't remember. Do you want to sit through that 5 hour fucking suit
No,
video?
I skimmed through it.
Well, I think they released the one that was literally just like 10 minutes now. So they actually, like, when it was being done online, they dragged it out. But I think now you can actually watch it and it's much faster. I can't remember if Benedict Cumberbatch's name was on there, but they should
I don't
have every
remember.
single person in there and come in there. And you know what? I was thinking
Oh,
about
no,
this when
it's
I
not.
was,
Yeah,
well, I was,
he's not part of the Avengers though. That's something that I think they made clear that even though obviously, comic books, but like in the MCU, he's not part of the Avengers. He's not an
and that
Avenger.
makes sense because he's more of the mystical and the darker side, which I was thinking about it actually driving home today about how they didn't do Blade and they haven't done like some of the other things. But I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like it would be so easy to open that world because what should have happened at some point with Doctor Strange is he should have opened like a Pandora's box thing and like some type of souls or evil was released into the world or whatever. So that what that starts is like it could open the door for a Midnight Suns movie. You feel me? Because
Hmm.
Midnight Suns is Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, Blade, Morbius, like the darker characters. So that's your in for a Blade movie. That's your in for a Ghost Rider movie because guess what? Maybe the demon Zarathos got released. And guess what? Zarathos was the demon that possessed Johnny Blaze because Mephisto came through and made the deal with him and everything. Or even if you want to just do fucking my favorite Ghost Rider, which is Danny Ketch, the '90s Ghost Rider, who is the long lost blood brother of Johnny Blaze. But please, for the love of God, do not cast Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider because he does not look like Ghost Rider to me.
I don't know. I think I would dig that, honestly.
Well,
And like,
you can take your shovel and dig somewhere else, pal.
And
hey,
maybe if it was like
he's
a
gonna be on
side
fire half
character,
the time. So what's the point? What's the difference?
if it was a side character, yeah, I think
That's
that's
my
okay.
point.
I couldn't see Norman Reedus like being like the star of his own movie, like in the MCU. I couldn't see that. If he was like maybe a side character, then that would make sense.
The dude was Scud in Blade 2. He wasn't
Yeah, he
even
was.
worth being a main character in the Blade movie. He's fine in Walking Dead and being on that thing with Carol and Daryl. Is that the name of the show, Carol and Daryl? If it's not, they missed a
No.
big opportunity for alliteration there. Um, but yeah, I just don't see him being superhero worthy personally. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the future for the MCU, I think yeah, so there's going to be something tied to Franklin. Franklin's going to be the focal point. Maybe he's going to be the Beyonder. Maybe there's going to be some crazy shit where he's both young and old at the same time, and then he does like he claps his hands, and all of a sudden there's a big bang, and the whole universe gets rebooted like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of predictions. Although sometimes when you predict stuff, it sounds better than what actually gets released. So I also don't want to do that. The next thing up for the MCU though is Brand New Day from Spider-Man, which that looks cool because we're getting some teases now. And our boy Tom Holland is getting older. He is getting older. He's not getting taller, but he's getting older. So I don't know how they're going to address that. I mean, I doubt that he would be the type of person to get surgery where it will give him a couple extra inches height wise.
What was
You hear about these surgeries where they break somebody's shins and then they
Yep.
like
yeah,
expand?
yeah, with like metal and stuff like that, and they get him a little bit taller in a sense. But I was gonna ask, like, what are you guys' thoughts of his like, well, not his, but just
The
how do you guys
suit?
feel about like No Way Home? Like, did you guys even care about that? Like,
Yes.
I thought it was solid. I didn't think it was like the best
The
Spider-Man.
best part about that movie is the reveal.
Nostalgia.
No, just the reveal. Like that scene with Keaton in the car is by far the best moment of that entire movie.
Hmm.
That's
Oh, well, I'm
Homecoming.
sorry.
That's
Sorry, my
Homecoming.
fault.
Yeah,
What are
Yeah.
you
Homecoming.
talking about?
I was talking
No Way
about
Home.
the No Way Home, the third one with the brings back where they bring all the Spider-Man together and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely nostalgia, like Jay said. Like I mean, Willem Dafoe steals that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Like
I
he's
he
did miss
brings
his
all
amazing.
that.
mask. I missed his mask, but everyone
No,
said
I
that they
love it.
liked the
I love it.
emoting.
You get he has the most expressive face in Hollywood. Why would you hide that face behind a mask?
Yeah.
Because he's
It's more impactful with his cackle and you
Right.
see he's actually doing it. It's so sick. Dude, tell me, dude, I was clapping in the theater when he's like he's getting punched in the face in the hall. He's like with his
Yeah, that was awesome.
crazy face, dude. I literally was laughing, and my fiance is like, "Dude, you love this." I'm like, "This is awesome."
it was. No, no, I mean, listen, I was used to the mask. I liked the mask. I saw
No,
the
it's
screen
this
test with the
nostalgia.
costume makeup
Yeah,
and stuff too, where they actually did prosthetics. That would
yeah,
have
yeah.
been
They did
cool
a rubber
too.
mask and stuff. Yep.
But maybe they could have made him green, like his face green or something. I don't know. But they did the roundabout way of making him with the purple hood and everything
Yeah,
too, which was like, I'm
it
like,
worked.
Right.
I don't need that though. But because it's not going to be exactly
It
like the
was subtle
comics.
enough. It was cool
But
because it was a sweatshirt that was tattered. He still had the armor on. I
Yeah,
liked it. I liked how they
and
did it.
they gave him some like razor blades
Yep,
and extra
from the
stuff
suit.
too.
Right.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was cool
yeah.
too.
But
So
I like the fact of obviously when Peter kind of just like becomes his own Spider-Man in a sense, and he gets that
Mm.
whole thing from his aunt. Towards at the well, not towards, but at the end of the movie where he basically kind of like he's stripped down. He's not basically,
yeah,
Iron Man's son or whatever. Like,
yeah,
he's
the
his own
second
man
unit.
and he's kind of stripped down where he doesn't have all the technology and everything. He gets a chance to be Spider-Man. So
Yep.
I'm optimistic on what Brand New Day is gonna be. Um and I think from what I heard, like it's gonna be more like just like street level stuff
Yeah.
and kind of bring it back down to
Makes
what
sense if you're
Spidey's
running
about.
into the Punisher.
Yep. Which I
I
thought
look
was kind of weird though, 'cause I thought they said they're not gonna bring any of the TV characters into the movies or something like that. Wasn't
well,
it?
so they can bring some of the characters, but like for example, Daredevil being a really good lawyer in that one scene,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or Frank coming in, or like maybe Luke Cage or Iron Fist, but like they can't have Kingpin come in because Kingpin is like it's
Au contraire, I guess I just read a rumor that he's going to be in the movie too.
really
Oh,
Yep.
hmm.
that's cool.
That's interesting.
Not mad
Well,
at that.
that's the funny thing too, because Kingpin started out as a super Spider-Man villain,
Yeah.
so they need to get that co-sign from Sony to say, oh, he can come in and everything. Was as simple as it goes, I thought. But then they use him for the TV show, so that they have that one agreement that had to get amended maybe for them to use him in the movies. But
Mm.
I don't know. We'll
I
see
even
because he was
saw
in Hawkeye too, even
right.
so.
I even saw a rumor that Punisher's going to get the War Machine armor in
Oh,
this movie.
like they did in the short run that he had the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. If that's gonna be insane if that happens. There's gonna be like it's almost gonna be too much for the movie to handle because you know it's gonna be a PG-13. They're not gonna go that far with it.
True. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because in like Frank with a freaking War Machine armor is like blood and gut city.
Well, if the Hulk's rumored to be in it, I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
think that they might need to take down the
Maybe.
Hulk then? And then weren't we talking a little bit like the Scorpion might is going to be coming in,
Right.
Scorpion's gonna
Mac
yeah.
Gargan.
Yeah,
Mac
So
Gargan.
they brought him back.
I picture Spider-Man trying to fight the Scorpion, and then the Punisher has to flank the Scorpion so that way they can both double team and beat him. And then Frank is about to try and like put a bullet between his eyes, and then it doesn't happen, obviously. Um, all right, all right, kid, this one's for you. You remind me of somebody I know. I call him Red. Which,
I'll
by
call
the
you red.
way,
I'll call you red and blue.
which by the way, uh, the trailers for that Odyssey movie that keeps on coming up with just him and I'm like, dude, Shane, shut the fuck up. This is an old time movie.
Dude,
Are you not going to change
I
your
love him.
cadence?
I love
Nothing.
him in whatever he's
Does
in, but
anybody have a story about
it's always
Odysseus?
the same
Red.
cadence. It's always
Ugh.
the same. Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm
I
like,
mean, it's kind of like Denzel.
John.
Denzel had the same cadence. Like even too, like we talked about the freaking the Gladiator
What?
too. Same
Well,
kind of talk
no,
the
no,
same way.
no, because Denzel's classically trained. He's got the stage presence and everything, and I mean between Training Day and like that Shakespeare movie that he did a while back, and then the Macbeth movie or whatever. He nails the different dialects and timings and everything. So just hearing John Bernthal do that, I'm like, John, for the love of God, John, please sound like you
It works.
belong
People
in
like
that
it.
time frame.
And it's
People like
funny
it.
because Tom's like rocking an accent, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm from New York, and I'm doing a monologue."
I'm a real one. I'm a
Yeah.
real one. All right, fellas. Well, we've talked a little bit about the MCU's future and what we feel about the movie. So to encapsulate everything, let's just go ahead and give the movie a rating and kind of like final thoughts on it. So I think that the film was pleasantly fun, great summer movie, great action. Did a lot for the Fantastic Four, especially being in the MCU for the first time. Cast came to play, brought their A game. The story was quite interesting, very well adapted, very well respectful of the material that came before, including the little things, especially my boy Herbie. But I think everyone played their parts greatly. Silver Surfer was actually not half bad, even though expectations were very low. Same goes for Pedro Pascal's performance. Galactus being fully realized finally with his two different eyes, the blazing white and then his square pupils and everything, and the way that his whole setup and depiction was very well done. And yeah, I think the tease at the end definitely gets you excited for Doomsday, along with all the news. Usually, Marvel would be protecting everything like very close to the chest, but now I feel like they're just giving little tidbits here and there because they want the hype to be built. They want that
Right.
pregame. They want that build up to WrestleMania, essentially, as it were.
Mm.
So, but overall, I think this movie was great. Dare I say, fantastic. I would give it a 8.5 out of 10 as far as my rating goes, and I'm definitely trying to see it again in IMAX. Thanks again, Ricardo, for that
Yeah.
recommendation.
Even
Um, but yeah, I'm definitely a day one special edition Blu-ray buy for me too.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought the whole family dynamic, we never really got that type of family dynamic in an MCU movie. And I think they did justice compared to obviously the other iterations of the Fantastic Four. I thought just again, I thought those the characters they chose, well, the actors that they chose to play the characters were went well. I thought it was fun. It was funny at times. The action was great. Obviously the CGI was amazing. I love they did justice like you just said, Jordan, with when it came to Galactus. I thought he was comic book accurate, and I honestly I was like, how are they going to pull this off with how big Galactus is? And they made it work. Um, Obviously, too, Silver Surfer. I thought I had no problems with Silver Surfer. I thought, adding Shallow Ball was a different thing. I think they didn't want to do what they did. Obviously, the Rise of the Silver Surfer. They already had that iteration of Silver Surfer, so I figured they kind of want to do things differently. And even too, just adding Franklin in the movie. They didn't have that in the other Fantastic Four movies. So I think they perfected just veering away from what all the other movies did and try to make it different and make it their own. And they even have it the 1960s having the 1960s era and the technology. They just made it like a fun movie. And it was more just, again, it was more focused on Fantastic Four, wasn't focused on the MCU, wasn't focused on anything else. Just them being a family, being, Marvel's first family and being like, superheroes here that are here to save the day. And in the obviously too, like of the people in the world all like care about them and look up to them as their heroes, their saviors. Um, and at the end of the day, I really had no gripes or anything like that. Just like small little nitpicks, but if I were to rate it, I'd rate it like around, I'd probably say 8 out of 10. It could be 8.5 too as well. I'm probably gonna go back and see it again. Um, and probably most likely buy the buy the Blu-ray
Yep.
special edition, whatever they're gonna come out with. I'd be fine buying it. And I would suggest too, if you guys have opportunity to go and see it, see it. If you have opportunity to go buy the Blu-ray, go buy the Blu-ray. I think it was a great movie, good summer movie, better than Superman. Going out there.
Shots fired. Pow, pow.
No, I mean, same here. Just I was pleasantly surprised. Again, the marketing team for this movie should be fired.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the better Marvel movies to come out. So this and Thunderbolts were a good 1-2 punch this year so far. Yeah, great family dynamic, as we said. All the characters definitely are separate from the other movies that came up prior to this. Just it's their own universe. The 60s aesthetic, it's the future 60s aesthetic is great. Again, Pedro Pascal was excellent. I forgot it was Pedro after 5 minutes, just the way he portrayed Reed. And again, my favorite scene by far in this movie is him and Sue arguing about him thinking about giving over Franklin. Was just it really, I think about it a lot because that was probably the most real scene in a Marvel movie where it's just like it's very relatable. You know what I mean? Especially if you put yourself in Reed's shoes, like of course he's gonna think of every avenue, and definitely a really cool scene. Effects were great. I mean, I'm with you guys. Probably 8 foot, probably high 8.5. I wouldn't give it a 9, but it's definitely up there for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I think that in this instance, you're hitting the nail on the head, though, especially with the marketing. And again, if you haven't seen the film, which what the hell are you watching this review for? Because we just spoiled some of the movie for you. Go and see this movie, goddammit.
I'd
That's all
still
I'm
see it
saying.
anyway. It's
Go
that good.
see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it. What we're saying is not good enough. You have to see this movie. Like, not even joking right now. So please go check this movie out. If
You're
you're
just saying
worried
that because
about,
you want it to gross more than Superman.
of course I do. You know I do because like
I'm
kick a man while
telling
he's
you, this
down.
man is a hater. Seriously, like I get it. The movie's not great, but man, this man's be saying some hateful stuff about this movie.
What? What do you mean? If it wasn't on record, if it wasn't recorded, if it wasn't on
That's
record,
true. It
then it's
doesn't
not.
exist, right?
It doesn't
If
exist.
it's not on
Just,
YouTube, it doesn't exist, right?
just like some of those things that Clark said during that interview where Lois was trying to gaslight him and say
Yes,
something too.
you can't say that. You can't add that. You can include
Hey,
that.
we just got a comment on one of the shorts about how I talked about Lois as the real villain, and someone's like, "Yes, completely agree, totally, 100%. She was totally not my Lois in this or whatever it
I
is.
knew
So
this would work out. Thanks, bitch.
shout out to you for enjoying that little tidbit like we did. We picked up what she was putting down. But overall, again, Fantastic Four, great fun movie, worth the watch, worth the ticket price, full price as a matter of fact, and the IMAX price per our IMAX viewer here in Ricardo. So definitely going to check it out a second time. Hopefully sooner rather than later for my personal preference and everything. I've got my girlfriend to go take to see this movie, and then I've got probably like my father if he wants to go and take a trip to see this movie as well. But yeah, it was a great movie, and again, hopefully the box office picks up because Marvel's kind of been down for a little bit. They want to get back up. We want to get them back into the mix here, people. And this is the type of movies that this and from what I've heard, Thunderbolts is what we want to see from Marvel shining again.
For sure.
So
Sure.
we'll
Yeah.
see what goes down. But overall, people, thanks so much for joining us again on this video. Until next time, I'm Jay. We got Ricardo and my friend Steve, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Have
Bye.
a fantastic day, everyone.